Hello students and welcome to Shri Gyan Manji Vidyapith. Students, we are learning the subject of social science for standard 10. We had started chapter number 1 and since 4 lectures exactly before this lecture we have been trying to understand about the heritage of India. In the first lecture we also studied about the broader layout of the paper, the broader layout of the textbook and the material which has been provided to you, what are the important aspects of that material. We discussed about the term 1 syllabus, we discussed about term 2 syllabus, which are all the chapters from history that will be taken in term 1, chapters will be taken for term 1, considered for term 1. For geography part, same way for economics and civics, same way. The remaining part will be taken in term 2 that we understood. Then we started with chapter number 1. Name of the chapter is Heritage of India. So now let us talk about, just take a quick recap of what we have learned earlier in the earlier lectures for this chapter. In the revision part, that is recap, revision, whatever you say, first thing that we learn from the chapter is the summary of the chapter. Summary of the chapter, I reiterate again, students, and I will do it again and again for a few lectures so that you understand the importance of the summary that is given to you. At the end of the year, when we are going to face the board exams, all the 21 chapters are going to be asked. Now it becomes impossible to go through each and every question, to go through each and every short notes or long answers. It is just impossible for you to complete within 1.5 days, because that is usually the time that we get in between two papers. So summary is very, very important for us. In each and every chapter, summary will be provided to you, because summary is the shorter explanation of the complete chapter. All the important points will be included in summary so that you get a broader view of the complete chapter. If you go for 21 chapters, you go through 21 summaries, it won't take more than 2 hours to completely revise the main whole of the framework of that particular chapter. So summary is very important to you. We discussed about the summary of the chapter, then we started with the chapter. At the beginning of the chapter there is the shloka given. That shloka has been taken from Vishnu Puran. It tells us about the extent of India. We know the extent of India, that it starts from the Himalayas in the north and stretches up to the southernmost tip of India where Indian Ocean is there. So from Himalayas in the north to the Indian Ocean in the south, and from Bay of Bengal in the east to Arabian Sea in the west. The land in between this stretch or this extent is known as Bharat, and the people residing within this land, they are called Bharatiya. So that is the shloka of Vishnu Puran. That is exactly the translation and the meaning of the shloka. You have to remember this. Now India since ancient time is famous for peace and prosperity. Our land has given whatever we need, and it has been given in excess. In the ancient time the population was also less, and whatever sources were available, for example, we have very rich soil. All the parts of India we have quite rich soil. Soils are of different types which allow us to take different crops, right? And we have suitable climate, we have suitable soil, we have suitable atmosphere, we have hard-working people, and we work hard and we become prosperous and rich. And throughout the world, India in the earlier times was known as Sone ki Chiriya, because that much prosperity was there. So India is famous for, first thing is prosperity, most important thing is peace. We are peace-loving people, we are trade-oriented people. We do not go outside and attack other people and try to take away their land, property and their wealth. People, that is why they find peace over there. People would like to come and settle in India, because wherever peace is there, prosperity is there, advancement is there. People want their family to be safe. People want to see the development of their family, prosperity of their family. So famous for peace and prosperity. People came from outside. Now we exchanged our customs, rituals with one another, Yes, yeah, we had different languages, different skill, different ideas, different way of making handicraft, different way of different talents we had, different skills we had. So we exchanged those things, and that mutual exchange has made our heritage rich. India is called to be religious minded. We have basically the Hindu religion, then lots of other religion came into existence from Hindu religion. For example, Buddhism, Mahavirism, or Jainism, Sikhism, all these religions, they came out of Hinduism, and that is spirituality, right? And in the spirituality we have realized three things, that is Sat, Chit and Anand. Sat means the truth, Chit means the inner peace, and because of truth and inner peace we get Anand, that is joy. People contributed with their intellectuality, ability, talent and skill. Whether people living inside the country, whether people who came from outside and settled in India, they use their intelligence, they use their ability, they use their talent, and basically they use their skill. And we became more and more advanced, we became more and more rich and prosperous. Next, we learned that heritage of India is divided into two parts. One is natural heritage, another one is cultural heritage. We came to know about the essence of natural heritage, whatever has been handed over to us by our forefathers, whether it is a tree, whether it's a river, whether it's a mountain, it was there. Yes, and it has now been handed over, because when we say the river belongs to us, that river is flowing through our region. The mountain belongs to us because that mountain is in Gujarat. We proudly say Girnar is in Gujarat. Girnar is our mountain. Yes, and this is the heritage that has been passed on to us, right? So natural heritage we divide into four parts: landscape, rivers, vegetation, wildlife. Mind you, each and every one of them, they are independently 2 to 3 marks question, 2 or 3 marks question. Usually they fall in the category of 2 marks because they are quite small, 4 or 5 points at the maximum, but each and every one of them with lots of examples, with lots of in-depth meaning have been explained. For example, landscape, the view that is in front of us. Beautiful views are found because of the shape of the earth, vegetation, water, etc. Rivers, they are the important source for drinking water, water for domestic use, for industrial use, for whatever use you want as, and it is also used for irrigation. It is that sweet water which is of the rivers which is given to the fresh water which is given to the agriculture, the plants, and that is why mineral rich water is given to the plants, and they give us a healthy crop, and we consume that crop and we also stay healthy. So rivers, they are called Lokmata, and they have lots of importance. Even religiously we call them Lokmata because they just serve to us like mother. Yes, mother gives whatever we need. Same way rivers give us water. Yes, water which is the essence of life. Yes, without water there can be no a living thing in this world, right? So water is our basic need for all the purposes, and the rivers provide that. That is why they are called Lokmata. Most of the rivers, they will have feminine name, exceptions 1 or 2 like Brahmaputra. Vegetation, without food and water we cannot live. Yes, and the vegetation is also varied because we have different types of soil, different rainfall we have. Yes, a different capacity of the water storage that we have. In this way we have lots of variations in vegetation. Somewhere rain falls more, somewhere rain falls less, right? In that way vegetation is different. So lots of variety of vegetation is also found in India. For example, there are lots and lots of species of trees, plants, creepers, etc. In the same way, the produce given by them, whether they are fruits, whether they are roots, they are used for medicinal purpose. They are also worshipped. For example, peepal tree, banyan tree, they are worshipped. Yes, that happens only in India. Now, natural heritage, the fourth part, that is wildlife. Yes, we have been nature lovers since long. We love the wildlife also. We try to preserve them, protect them. We do not harm them. and that has been written since the ancient times as rules and regulations by King Ashoka also. Wildlife, many of the wildlife, they have been dedicated to gods and goddesses as their vehicle. That is a very important custom and tradition of India. That is the culture of India. And the symbols of these animals, we place them on our Indian currency. Perhaps India is the only country in the world where the wildlife has found a place on the currency notes. So this is the importance, the value that we give to wildlife. So natural heritage divided into 4 parts: landscape, rivers, vegetation and wildlife. Then we come to cultural heritage. First is the definition, whatever we got from our forefathers or whatever we created with our own hands, that is called cultural heritage, with our ability, intellectuality, talent, skill, etc., tact, wisdom, all that. Definition, understanding. Lots of places are considered as cultural heritage. Historically important places that also we discussed, they are considered as cultural heritage. Discoveries that were made in the ancient time, during the medieval time, even today in the modern times, they are also considered rich heritage of India. Important tourist spots where, for example, Taj Mahal, lots and lots of people come to visit Taj Mahal outside India also, because that is a tourist spot. So it is because it's a part of the heritage of India. Now let us go ahead with today's lecture. Important tourist spots having historical values. This we have already done. This was the last paragraph that we did. So let us just go through it. The places of pilgrimage. For example, the Victory Tower of Vadnagar. When Muhammad Bigra, he conquered Vadnagar, he made a gate over there. Tower, actually, it's a tower. Gate is also there, tower is also there, right? To commemorate his victory over that area, he made a beautiful tower over there, and it's not only architecture, a lot of sculpting work is done on that, and that people go to visit, so that the architecture and the sculpting work which is done on the tower, it's a tourist spot, and it includes in our heritage of Gujarat. Stone inscription of King Ashoka at Junagadh. We have already discussed that King Ashoka was perhaps one of the first king, not only in India but in the whole of the world, to use the stones lying in here and there. He got it polished. He got, not shape does not change. He just got it polished, and then he got the rules and regulations, preachings and teachings of Buddha, etc. He got it inscribed on the stones, and one of the such stone inscription was all over the country. We find it even outside the country also. Wherever Buddhism spread, we find this stone inscription of King Ashoka. One of that is at Junagadh, which is quite famous. Then we have Sun Temple of Modera. We'll be learning in depth about the Sun Temple of Modera. Yes, Sun Temple, it means that the temple is dedicated to the sun god. Gate of Champaner. Now Champaner is one such town of Gujarat where there are lots of places of historical importance. The structure, the way it was made, architecture, all of that is so beautiful. Rather than including one or two such structures, whole of the town of Champaner has been declared not as heritage of India. It has been declared Gujarat, but it has been declared as part of the world heritage. Yes, so people from far and wide, once a place has been nominated as world heritage, people all around the world come to have a look at it, right? So we should be very proud that one of the town of Gujarat, that is Champaner, has got the status of world heritage. Out of that, gate of Champaner is quite famous because of the architecture done on it. Rudra Mahalay of Satpur, it's quite a beautiful place. It's a temple actually. Then we have Mansar Lake of Virumgam, which is man-made. Jama Masjid of Ahmedabad. It is one of the largest mosques of India, and not only that, it has the maximum number of pillars and domes. Yes, it's considered quite exquisite in that term. So many pillars and so many domes on that one particular. In most of the bigger cities, you will always find a Jama Masjid. The same way as we find Shankar Mandir everywhere. Even in the same town, we find lots of Shankar Mandir. Same way, in each and every bigger, smaller town, you will always find a Jama Masjid. So you always have to write where that masjid is. So Jama Masjid of Ahmedabad, it's quite famous. In Ahmedabad, we have Julta Minar, or it's called Shaking Towers. There are two towers, identical towers. You step and do some movement on one of the tower, the vibrations can be felt in the other tower, whereas there is no physical connection on the ground between the two. The scientists, physicists, they are all confused. Lots and lots of people from outside the country also came to do research on that. Till now, there is no answer. Why you do some movement in one tower, you feel the vibration on the other. So that is quite surprising, amazing, wonderful. So Julta Minara, the Shaking Towers. Sidi Sayyad Nigril, it's artistic work done on stone. That's actually vegetation. Yes, it's a tree with vines and all that, right? But it's quite complicated. It's minute, complicated, and that is known as Sidi Sayyad Ni Jali or Sidi Sayyad Grill. Grill is Jali. Temples of Hathishi, they are the Jain temples of Hathishi. Beautiful architectural work done, and more than the beauty of architecture, the sculpting work that is done in the temples of Hathishi, Jain temples, it is unparalleled. We can see just amazing, beautiful sculpting work done. Each and every inch of the temple is carved out. Yes, beautiful sculpture work is done over there. Sastra Lake of Patan. Patan has numerous things. First of all, we just had it. The Rudramala of Sidhpur, Patan, near about places. Yes. Then we have Sahasraling of Patan. Then we have Rani Ki Vav, which is again a world heritage. So we have lot many things in Patan. Sahasraling Lake of Patan, that is a man-made lake. Raj Mahal of Vadodara, exquisite. And if you really see it, not only during the day, it looks beautiful, but in the night, and especially during the national festivals, Diwali, or important festivals, it is colorfully decorated with lights, etc. And that's really beauty. Whole of the Raj Mahal of Vadodara is well known for that. Sayaji Rao Gaikwad, the Gaikwad family, yes, it belongs to them. Tomb of Mohabbat Khan. Yeah, you can see the beauty of the tomb, very well sculptured, very good architecture, and it's quite famous for its exquisite design. Parsi Agyari of Navsari. Parsi, people who had to flee from the country of Iran in the ancient time, when their religion, the Zoroastrian religion, came into trouble. Yes, because people were the population following Zoroaster were quite small, and the Muslim population was increasing over there. They found it difficult to live over there, so they ran away from there and found refuge in India. We had no objection on that, and Parsis, they are very peaceful people. They are trade oriented, business oriented people. Yes, and they adopted Indian ways. Not only that, they adopted Indian languages, and they peacefully live with us even today. And now considered Indian, and their temple of worship is known as Agyari. So Parsi temple, and that also situated in Navsari. These are worth seeing places. All of them are considered in cultural heritage of Gujarat. Now let us have a look at some of the pics so that you remember what is what. For example, Julta Minara. These are the two minars which are there, and you can see that they are climbable. Nowadays they don't allow to climb, but then they are climbable, and you make movement anywhere over here, it can be felt in the other tower. This is Julta Minara, or the Shaking Towers of Ahmedabad. Next we see Hathishi Jain temple. You can see the exquisite pillars carved out of stone, right? And beautiful sculpting work is done all over. You don't find any inch of the temple left without sculpting work. Some kind of statue will be carved out. Yes, you can see human beings are also there. Some of the designs are also there, animals, birds, everything. You can see even the supports which are given for that Jaruka, they are also designed beautifully, animal shapes, in the shape of animals, yes, supporting that Jaruka. Then we have Munsar Lake of Viragam. You can see a beautiful man-made lake is made, and the small temples are adoring the complete circumference of the lake. Rudra Mahalay of Sidhpur, you can see so beautiful sculpting work over there. This is a pillar. These are the statues that are made, the frames that are made, the supporting pillars that are made. You can see over there, a rath is there, the wheels are there, elephants are there, lots of gods and goddesses are there sculpted over here. So it looks very beautiful and mesmerizing. Right, so this is Rudra Mahalay of Sidhpur. They have the Sun Temple. This is the Sun Temple, and this is the Kund, or in English it's called tank. And surrounding the tank, you can see mandirs lined up. They are actually the steps to come down to the tank, but we can say they are 108 in number. 108 small temples. Yes, having idols also inside it, and this is the Sun Temple. Yes, we'll learn about it in detail in one of the succeeding chapters. Now we come to cultural heritage of Gujarat, places having religious importance. There are lots and lots of places having religious importance. For example, whenever you have a short break, 1 or 2 days, usually parents take children outside our city to nearby adjoining places where there are beautiful temples, some quiet, serene place. Places having religious importance. First is Dwarkadish Temple of Dwarka, Dwarkadish Lord Krishna. His place, the Temple of Dwarka, that is also the Shardapit of Jagadguru Shankaracharya. Jagadguru Shankaracharya, the highest priest of Hindu religion, that is Jagadguru Shankaracharya. His seat is called Shardapit. Somnath Temple is one of the 12 Jyotirlingas spread all around India. One of that Jyotirlinga is in Gujarat. The name is Somnath Temple. That is considered as one of the 12 Jyotirlingas. Ambaji Temple in the North Gujarat, that is Banaskantha district. Bahucharaji Temple, Mehsana district. Many of you people might have visited that. Ranchodrai Temple, that is Dakor or Kheda district. Ranchodrai. And Shamlaji, that is in Aravalli district. These are places having religious importance. Yes, let us have a look at them one by one. This is the famous Dwarkadish Temple. Most of us have visited over here. Then this is the Somnath Temple, that is in Gir Somnath district. Shamlaji Temple, very beautifully in the ancient times it was built, and it has beautiful design. Architecture is quite good, and the sculpting one done on the walls of the mandir, it's quite exquisite. We have Ranchodrai Temple, that is Dakor. Now let us go ahead with the well-known religious, social and tourism places and events that are happening in Gujarat. We are talking about the cultural heritage of Gujarat, in which we saw lots of important places, we saw lots of religious places. Now all of that combined. For example, Polo Forest. Polo Forest is a type of reserved forest over there. It has quite a different type of vegetational species over there. Lots of different types of vegetation is found over there. It's quite protected. Yes, and it is known as Polo Forest. That is in Vijayanagar, that is Sabarkantha district. Kite Festival, usually celebrated on the riverfront, that is Sabarmati River, and it's done on a huge scale. People from even outside India come over there with their huge kites, and the Kite Festival is, so that is an event that makes Gujarat proud, and it has been a culture, because we know in Gujarat we have 14th January where people fly kites. Yes, it's a singular event in the whole world where whole of the state is flying kites. Yes, that happens only in Gujarat. So Kite Festival of Gujarat is it is not 14, but somewhere around 14 for on an international scale Kite Festival is arranged. Then we have Kakaria Carnival. Yes, you know Kakaria, that is in Kakaria Lake, that is in Ahmedabad. Nowadays it has been developed beautifully and that is celebrated. It's an event. Tana Riri festival, it is in Vadnagar. Tana and Riri, they were two girls, and that duet singing was so good, they became so famous that after that death, people built small temples, one of Tana and one of Riri, and today a special festival for vocal singing is held over there. People, singers of classical singing, they come over there and perform in front of people. So Tana Riri festival, that is in Vadnagar. Northern Dance Festival, which is held at Sun Temple of Modera. Now, this festival is about dance. So all the classical, even famous world level classical dancers of India, they come over there and perform in front of people. So that Northern Dance Festival is there. Ranotsav of Kutch, the Run of Kutch, the white desert of Kutch. It's one of its kind, unique, and nowadays it is also declared as a bioreserve, right? So an utsav is there, people take part in their live-in tents and enjoy the customs and tradition of Kutch, and it's a beautiful place to visit, is the White Run of Kutch. So these are the well-known religious, social and tourism places and events. Now, tourist places of Jain religion and Buddhist religion, they are also quite important. Jain and Buddhist caves that are seen, right? They are quite old, so they have been structured quite a long while ago in the ancient time. Some of them are said to have been constructed during the 1st century, 2nd century. Yes, it's that old. So Jain and Buddhist caves, they are constructed quite a long while back, and they are found at various places in Gujarat. They are at Vadnagar, Taranga, Kambalia, Shamlaji, Koteshwar. Please remember these names. All of them can come in objectives. Shamlaji, Koteshwar, Talaja, it's very near to us, Dhak, Jagaria. These are the places where you will find lots of Jain and Buddhist caves. Jain and Buddhist religion, it's not only now present in India, it has spread outside India also. So lots of people, lots of researchers, lots of students who take up history as the subject, they want to learn about Asia, India. They come over here, visit it, study, research, for worshipping purpose, for study purpose, they come and visit these places where there are Jain and Buddhist caves. Now we come to the next very important topic of this chapter, that is fairs of Gujarat. Lots of fairs are held in Gujarat, जिसको हम मेला बोलते हैं, right? So what are those fairs? So the first one we have just studied now, Modera Fair. Yes, Modera Fair, that is Modera, which is in Mehsana, and you'll have name of the fair, place of the fair, tithi or time. Usually we follow the Hindu calendar. Usually we follow the Hindu timetable, yeah, for the year. Now, so there we will go according to tithi, we will not go according to the Gregorian or the Christian calendar. Sometimes both of them are mixed up, but tithi and dates will not match somewhere. So you have to remember it that way. The Modera Fair, we know the Modera Dance Festival, right? We just learned about it. That is held in the in Vadnagar at the Sun Temple of Modera. It is held during the 3rd week of January, whole of the 3rd week. Every year, 3rd week of January, Modera Fair is held. We know that is a dance festival. Bahucharaji Fair. Yes, Bahucharaji, goddess Bahucharaji, for the namesake. Yes, Bahucharaji, which is in Mehsana. When is it held? It is held during the Chaitra Sud Poonam, on Poonam. Poonam, full moon, right? Chaitra Sud Poonam, it's a very auspicious day, and on that day, Bahucharaji Fair is held at the Bahucharaji Temple, which is in Mehsana. So 2-3 things whole of this table, fairs of Gujarat, is complete objective, right? So we have to remember the name of the fair, place of the fair, and the tithi or date of the fair. Next is Shamlaji Thakurji fair, which is it is called Shamlaji fair also, it is called Thakurji fair also, yes, and it is also called Kalia Thakur fair. So don't get confused with different names that are used. Yes, ठाकुर जी थोड़े श्याम रंग के हैं, सो कालिया ठाकुर भी उनका नाम है भगवान का. सो श्यामलाजी ठाकुर जी फेयर, that is held at the temple of Shamlaji, which is in the Aravalli district. When is it held? Kartik Sud 11 to, that is 11 to Poonam, so 4 days, 11, 12, 13, 14 and Poonam, 4-5 days this fair is held. Bhadarvi Poonam fair, Bhadarvi Poonam comes once in a year. It is held at Ambaji, that is Banaskantha district, and of course it is held on one day, that is Bhadarvi Poonam. Bhavnath Mandir fair, Bhavnath Mandir, it's in Junagadh, yes, Girnar mountains at the base of Junagadh. Yes, it is held from Magh Vad 9 to 12. 9 means Nom, 12 means Baras. Yes, Magh Vad Nom se Baras. But we remember in this way, it's convenient to remember. Tarnatir fair is famous all over the world. The beauty of Tarnatir fair, yes, is famous all over the world. People from far and wide, they have to take up reservations over there. Special tents have to be made for them, for people coming from outside the country, even within the country. Tarnatar fair is so famous, it becomes so crowded, right? Where is Tarnatar fair held? It is held in the district of Surendranagar. First week of the Bhadrapadma it is held. Now let us just have a look at these 5-6 fairs. What they are might not be that much clear, right? But okay, Modera fair, the Sun Temple, it's held during the night. Classical dances, they are performing. Bahucharaji fair, that is in Patan, Chaitra Sud Poonam, lots of people, they gather to celebrate it. This is Kalia Thakur fair or Shamlaji fair, Thakurji fair, whatever you say. Aravalli, Kartik Sud Gyasti Mas, then Bhadarvi Poonam fair, Ambaji Banaskantha, that is Bhadarva Sud Poonam. And this is Bhavnath fair. Yes, lots of sage and saints come over here. Girnar, Junagadh. Yes, शंकर भगवान का बहुत बड़ा त्यौहार होता है ये. महावद 9 थी पारस, that is 9 to 12. Tarnetar fair, you can see beautifully, even they create lots of designs on the ox and the bulls that are used over here. Carts are beautifully designed and decorated. The people also come with, take part with lots of colorful clothes. You can see this is the main thing. The chhatri is colorfully designed, embroidered with lots of small mirrors. Yes, embroidered over there. It's a very beautiful scenery at Tarnetar fair. Next few fairs are the Baryat fair, which is held at Baryat, that is Ahmedabad. Now this is a Muslim fair, so it will be counted as per the Muslim or Islamic calendar. Rajab month, Rajab is one of their month of the Islamic calendar, and it is held during the Rajab month 9, 10 and 11th day. Next is Naklan Fair, which is held at Kolyak, which is in Bhavnagar. Bhadarva was Amas, Bhadarva was Amas, I stretched that picture, so Bhadarva was Amas. Madhupur Fair is the next one. It's situated in Porbandar. It is held during Chaitra Sud Nom to Teras, 9 to 10. 9 means Nom. So Nom, Dasam, Agyaras, Baras and Teras. 5-6 days this fair is held. Water fair is basically a tribal fair, Adivasi fair, and it is also animal fair, where animals like donkeys, खच्चर है, ऊंट है वगैरह बेचे और खरीदा, because that's a remote place, Adivasi area, where people are basically the tribal people living there, and these domesticated animals for carrying the load, they are bought and sold over there. So it's an animal fair, and at the same time, because tribal people are living there, so you'll have lots of entertainment given by the tribal people. So Wanta fair, which is in Dholka, Ahmedabad, it is held at Kartik Sud, Pune. Mira Datar fair, again it's a Muslim fair, so it will be held during the Islamic month of Rajab 16 to 22. It is held at Unnava, Mehsana. Mind you, this is a very, very famous fair. People, not only the Muslim people, the local people and people belonging to other religion also, they come over there to offer their prayers and to worship the God. So in this way, there is unity and diversity which we see over here. Yes, the gods do not belong to only specific people, they belong to all the people. Now, some of the pics over here, Bhadiyat fair, duly, very much decorated scene we find over here. Basically, it's a Muslim fair. So, the mosque and the rest of the structures, they are decorated, lighted. Naklan Fair, which is held at Bhavnagar on the seashore. Madhupur fair, you can see huge crowd and it looks like a fair. Yes, with the Ferris wheel, etc. Dholka water fair, which is an animal fair, and at the same time it's a tribal fair. You can see the donkeys, they are taken to the fair to be bought and sold. Mira Datar fair, again being a Muslim fair, and the mosque is decorated. Lots of people gather over there. It's held at Unnava, that is Unja, Rajab Mas 16 to 22. The last set of fairs, Dang's Darbar. Now, Dang is situated in the northern part of Gujarat, and it's a completely forest area. So, tribal people mostly live over there. So, Dang's Darbar fair, it's quite famous, and mind you, even foreigners come to visit Dang's Darbar fair. It's one of the only fairs, one of the only celebration that the tribal people take part in that area. Ahwa, which is the district headquarters of the Dang district, it is held during Falgun Sud Purnam. Next is Gol Gadira fair. As the name suggests, again it's an animal fair, at the same time it's a tribal fair also. It is held at Karara, that is Dahod. 5 to 7 days after Holi it is usually held. Kartik Purnima fair is held at Somnath, that is the Gir district. Kartik Sud Poonam. Banguria fair is held at Quat, that is Chota Udarpur, which is again a tribal area. So this is a tribal fair. From Holi to Rang Panchami, the fair is held for quite a long duration, and because during that time the tribal people are free from their hard work, and this is the small little time they get to enjoy. So they held this Banguria fair from Holi to Rang Panchami. That's how some pics about it. Dang Darbar fair, you can see beautiful tribal dance. Yes, people get lots of entertainment over here. Gol Gadera fair, being not only an animal fair, it is also a tribal fair. So lots of tribal people you can see in the pic. Kartik Purnama fair, which is held at Somnath Gir. Banguria fair, again you can see beautiful tribal dresses and people dancing. A tribal dance is being done over here. It is held at Chota Udaipur, and the fair is held from Holi to Rang Panchami. So students, we have learned quite a lot about the fairs of Gujarat. Students, the next topic that we are going to learn is India, land and people. Now, if you see today's India, the culture of say northern India is totally different from the culture of southern India. Same way, if we come to western India, the culture is totally different from even central India, even the eastern parts of India, northeast parts, West Bengal state, Gujarat state. If you compare, the culture is quite far apart from each other, totally different. Language is different, the culture, tradition, customs, all those things are totally different. Now it has some reason why there is so much difference between the lots of cultures, lots of towns, cities, villages, states, directions in India, there has to be some reason. And the primary reason for that is right since the primitive men. Right since the primitive men, human beings have been living in India. Then lots of other people came from outside India. They had different physical features, they had different ideas, way of living, style of living, living standards. They had different culture, custom, tradition, language, script, religion, way of wearing clothes, way of making houses. All the things were far, far different from the people that were already living in India. Now, from outside India, they came to India and settled in India, right? And then slowly, both the tribes got mingled up, right? And that is mixed up. The population became homogeneous, right? They stayed together, they exchanged their customs, traditions, language, they gave to each other. Each other adopted each other's customs, traditions, language. So whatever good was in other tribe was taken by the tribe of the people already living in India. So that way, a very well mixture of population was possible, and this is why we have lots and lots of different tribes in those days living in India. Slowly they got mixed up, and today we see quite a different custom, tradition, religion, and all these changes keep on happening. These are not permanent things. Yes, customs, tradition, language, even in language we continuously keep on adding new words. Here we keep on adding foreign words which got popular use in our language, right? So in this way changes keep on happening. So primitive man came into existence simultaneously in India and Eastern South Africa. Things to remember is simultaneously. Primitive men in India, Eastern South Africa. Now we all know that the evolution of human beings from apes, they got nearly complete at the same time in Africa and in India. It has been scientifically proved, it has been historically proved that all over the world earlier had a belief that the first human being came into existence in Africa only, but it is not so, because everywhere the evolution or the change from ape to human being simultaneously happened. So in Eastern South Africa, human being came into existence at the same time, simultaneously, in India also. So right from the primitive time, the men which are called primitive, right, they came into existence at the same time in Eastern South Africa and India at the same time. Varied and prosperous heritage attracted many foreign tribes, and they came to India. We already learned that we had lots of varied heritage, we had diverse heritage, we had a very prosperous and rich heritage, and because of that peace and prosperity, lots of tribes outside India, they came to India. They were migrating, and during that migration they came to India, and they liked it very much. Not only the soil, climate, the people, everything they liked about India, and they did not go further. So they settled in India, and that is why we have this rich, varied, prosperous, peaceful culture, because people came over here and settled and did not go away from India. So the remains of all the tribes are found over here in India. As we discussed earlier, all these tribes which came from outside India, first thing is they had a different physical feature. For example, in India we have wheatish color, but if one tribe from Africa migrated and came over here, we know very well they had black skin, right? So this is one of the basic physical feature. Now people coming from China, they are going to be shorter in height, the structure of their eyes are going to be different, the structure of their face is going to be different. We have a protruding nose, we have a face which comes out, whereas their face is quite flat, and they have almond shaped eyes, they have a flat nose, right? So in this way physical features are going to change. We have wheatish color, whereas they have pale yellowish color, skin color. So in there, and they will be shorter in height. So these are the main physical features will change. Along with that, whatever they have brought with them, that is also going to be far different from us. So all the remains of all these tribes are found over here. Now this is a very, very important statement. The Dravidians, they are considered to be the most ancient people of India. In the first point we discussed that human beings, they came into existence simultaneously in Eastern South Africa and India. If in Eastern South Africa it is known as the Negro tribe, then in India it is known as Dravidian tribe, right? Dravidian tribe have been here since ancient time, since the primitive time. They were present during the Stone Age, and they were present through all the ages and even today. So they are considered among the most ancient people of India. But modern researchers and linguistic and anthropology have proved that even before the Dravidian, the 6 more tribes came to India and settled in India. But it has been proved in history, based on the evidence available to us, based on the languages spoken, based on the things available in the ancient times, in the primitive times. It has been proved that Dravidian tribe was not the only tribe that was living in India. Apart from that, 6 other main tribes in huge number, they migrated from outside India and settled in India. So Dravidians were living in India, but people from outside India, 6 main tribes came from different direction and settled in India. So the remains of these 6 tribes are also found. List of the tribes that came to India. First one is they call Negro, Negrito, or we call in local language the Hathishi people. We have 4 or 5 names for the tribe which migrated from Eastern South Africa to India, usually known by the scientific name Negrito in short. It's not the complete name. Negrito, that is Hathishi people. Second, the Astroloid people, they were known as the Nisha people by the Aryans who came on later. Then the Dravidians who were already living in India, the Aryans who migrated from Europe to India, Mongoloid people, today where Mongolia is a sandwich country between Russia and China, that falls in central China, somewhere on the borders of central China. So the Mongoloid people, then other few small tribes like Alpine, Dinaric and Armonite tribe also migrated from outside India to India. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Yes, we consider up till Mongoloid they came in huge number, but Alpine, Dinaric and Armonite they came in small number. So we keep it together. Now we first learn about the Negrito people, that is the Hathishi people. Some historians believe that Negrate or Negroes are the most ancient inhabitant of India. Now you see over here, Negrito first name, Hathishi second name, then Negrate third name, or Negroes 4, right? So we have at least 4 names belonging to the same tribe. They are Negrito, Hathishi, Negrate, Negroes. Yes, they are the same. The spelling over here is wrong. Negroes. It should be Negro, Negroes. All right. So, okay, you can change that. One tribe has 4 names. That means it is objective. They came from Africa via Baluchistan to India. Now, I'm not going to draw the world map, but then we should be clear of the path through which they came. Now, this we consider as the tip of Africa. South Africa, eastern part. That means we are talking about this part. We have South Africa at the tip of African continent, and as you go above, we have Mozambique, etc. These are the countries that are situated on the eastern part. Now, they started moving in the northern direction. Here we have Egypt, and then we have the complete stretch of Arabian countries. Students, please remember the path they took. It's not important. Nobody is going to ask you in the exam. But then, when we are talking about a particular tribe, we should have clarity as to the origin of that tribe and from where, which place in the world they migrated. Yes, we should have a so they started for whatsoever reason. Perhaps the situation was not good enough and they had to leave the area. We assume that, right? So they started migrating in quite a huge number towards the northern side. On the northern side over here, we know there is River Nile and then Egypt and all that. Here we have the Arab countries. Yes, so they didn't enter over here, but they went around it, and here we have Iraq, then we have Iran. So they continued in this direction and came to the end of Iran. We know today Iran has a border with Pakistan. At that time there were no boundaries. They entered Pakistan and came up to River Indus. The people on this side of Indus, they are known as Indians. That is how we got the name. Yes, even when the Aryans came from the other side of Indus, and they knew people living on the other side of Indus as Indians, and that is how we got the name India and Indians. So this is their journey of the Negrito people from eastern South Africa all the way above Arab countries into Iraq, Iran, today's Pakistan, and they came up to river Indus. Indus river is quite huge, it's quite broad, so all the tribes which came from that area, including the Aryans, they had to face lots of difficulty crossing the river Indus, because if you see all through this route there are no big river. Indus river is the biggest river, and if you see the 5 tributaries that are pouring their water into Indus, that is Chenab, Jhelum, Ravi, Beas, Satluj, all of them, they are so huge, you stand so big and broad that you stand on one side, you cannot see the other side. Yes, rivers like Satluj, if you go over there, they go call it rivers, they call it Sagar. Ravi Sagar, Satluj Sagar, because you cannot see the other side of the other bank, right, of that river. So they are so huge, and then they must have come and spread into India. So please remember this route the Negritos took in order to come to India, and they must have settled in many parts of India. In the next chapter, that is in chapter number 2, we will be having a small mention of Negrito tribe also. So they came to Africa via Balochistan. When you cross Indus river, that is Balochistan, Sindh, Balochistan, these are the areas of today's Pakistan that you come. So they came from Africa via Balochistan to India. This point is very, very important. It tells you about the physical features. Now we are talking about primitive men. Yes, so वो साथ में क्या लेके आए थे? कुछ नहीं, कपड़े भी I don't know hardly होंगे कि नहीं, right? So we are talking about the physical features. They came back quite a lot of time in ancient times, so they didn't carry much, right? And coming all the way from Africa to India, yes, there were no ships and airplanes and helicopters and trains and buses and trams available, so you understand they walked on foot. Yes, so they didn't carry much, right? These are the physical feature. Now, what is their skin color? Very, very important to remember. 2-3 points about physical features you should always remember. First thing is the color of the skin. Next is the color of the hair, how the hair is, how the face is, and what is the approximate height. These are the four things you remember in physical features for any of the tribe. Now, first things, they were black. That means skin color was black. We know Negro people, they are black in color. Having a height of 4 to 5. So, their height is shorter than an average Indian. An average Indian is at least 5.5 foot. Yes, now they are 4 to 5. Yes, so they are shorter in height, 4 to 5 feet. And which type of hair they have? They have curly hair that just settles inside and hardly even comes out for many of them, right? You just see the bald scalp on the top. Yes, there might be hair, the curly hair, right? So, three features we have been told over here about the skin color, about their height, and about their type of hair that they have. Now, a picture has been given to you. So, this is the average height of the Negro people. Yes, 4 to 5 feet tall. They have more darker skin than us, and they have this curly hair on the top, just sticking to the scalp, right? And they are not fluffy like us. Yes, they are very short and they are just sticking to the scalp. So, these is a picture of the Negrito people. Next, we come to Australoid. Australoid people of this tribe came from Southeast Asia. Now, Southeast Asia, this is India. This is India, right? We come over here, this is Bangladesh, then a little bit of here. Here we start with Myanmar. Myanmar, and then we have the rest of the country. Here is China, whole of it. Now, they came from Southeast Asia. The Australoid people came from Southeast Asia. This is whole of Asia, including China. Southern side and eastern side, they came from all the way over here. They must have come from far away, Cambodia, Kampuchea, and that side. They came to Myanmar, entered Assam, and they settled over here, all these places, right? So, this is the route taken by the Australoid people. Now, let us learn about the Australoid people. They were black skin. Again, Australoid people, they were more darker skin than us. That is black skin. Head was broader. Compared to the rest of the body, the head was broader. Flat nose, they had a flat nose. That means the nose, like us, is not protruding outside. It is in line with the forehead. It is in line with the forehead. Flat nose, short in height. Again, they were shorter in height. This is because if you read history, then it is a proven fact that after the primitive men came into existence, that means human beings came into existence. Yes, in Africa, then they spread through. There is a popular belief that they spread from Africa to the rest of the parts of the world, right? So we already know the path from Africa to India. They might have continued and settled in the lower parts of Asia below China, and then the reverse migration happened after quite a lot of number of years, quite a lot of centuries. Again, reverse migration started, and that is how those people came from Southeast Asia towards India, right? So we have that same black skin. This is the major reason for it. And all these centuries they lived in a different part of the world, so physical changes are going to happen. Yes, so that explains the broad head. And we know Chinese people, Yes, they were also there. Yes, after the primitive man came into existence, right? Men came into existence over there also after quite a lot of number of years. So there the physical characteristic is different. They have flat nose, flat face, and pale yellow skin. Yes, so intermingling of tribes is possible, and that is why the Negro who have protruding face, instead of that now they have a flat nose, short in height, that physical feature remains the same. But for us to understand, we have a simple answer. The Australoids, Australoids came from Southeast Asia to India, and these are the one, black skin, next broad head, third flat face, and four, short height. We must remember these four physical features. Now they came after a lot many centuries after the Negrito people came. So by the time had advanced, so they learned lots of things during that time, and when they came to India, they brought those things with them, and that is why we have to tell also their contribution. That is why we discussed during the Negrito that they might have come empty-handed because they were primitive men. They didn't have luggage as such. They didn't have even ideas because the development did not happen so much. After they came into existence, the development did not happen. They were just wandering, and they came to India. But these people, they had settled over there, they had developed over there and then come. So they gave lots of contribution. What is that? First contribution is they made clay utensils. They knew very well how to make clay, then how to add water and make it into a dough and give a proper shape, heat it and use that clay utensils. And next important thing is they wore cotton cloth. That means they knew how to get cotton, how to grow cotton. That means they knew a little bit of agriculture. They were wearing cotton clothes when they came to India. That means they knew that this cotton plant gives cotton, how to turn that cotton ball into yarn, thread smaller, then into yarn, and yarn into cloth. So they knew how to weave also. So they had quite advanced till that time when they came to India. And the third is they knew many other skills. What are these many other skills? They might have lots of weapons of different types. For example, advanced bow and arrows, spears, and hunting talents, the way people hunt, the way people make houses, yes, the way they decorate their houses, all of that is included in skill. So agriculture, we know already that skill was there. Then only they will be wearing cotton cloth because they know how to grow cotton, right? So these are the physical features, four of them: black skin, broad head, flat nose, short in height, etc. And their contribution to the civilization of India is they made clay utensils. We also made, but their way of making might be a little bit different. Wore cotton cloth. We also were wearing, because cotton was available. But when they came, they were already prepared with it. Knew many other skills. The Aryans who came on later, they call them Nishad. Now why? What is the meaning of Nisha? Nisha means the darker part of the evening where there is very less light and more darkness. That is Nisha, right? Ratri bhi bolte, it's dark. Because they had dark skin color, that is why they were called Nishad. And this is objective. You can take it as MCQ, you can take it as a filling the blank, etc. It has already been underlined. So Aryans who came, because Aryans were quite fair in color, and the Australoid people, they were quite dark skinned. So Aryans used to call the Australoid people Nishad people. The origins of the tribes like Kol, Munda, Khasi, and tribes of Assam, the tribes of Nicobar and Myanmar, they have similarity. Today, we are talking about today. Now, we take Kol and Munda. Now, the Kol and Munda, they are usually found in Bihar, Orissa, Chhattisgarh areas. Kol and Munda tribes are found, right? Now, in geography, we have learned Garo and Khasi hills in Meghalaya, Assam, that part. Yes, so in Assam, Garo and Khasi hills are there. The Khasi tribes over there, right? Were named after the place where they were living, the Khasi hills. So they are Khasi tribes. We find similarity of those days astroloids and today's tribes. So these tribes, they have their origin in astroloid tribe, Kol and Munda. Khasi tribes of Assam, tribes of Nicobar and Myanmar. Those who might have seen pics of the Andaman and Nicobar inhabitants, local ones, they know they look just like that, short height, dark skin color, right, broad head. So they have similarities of Nicobar. Myanmar, yesteryear's Burma. That is after Assam, the countries that starts after the state of Assam. Assam has a boundary with Myanmar. All those people, they have similarities with astrolites. That means they came from here and settled in these parts. Their contribution in the development of Indian culture and civilization is immense. That means quite huge, because we know they were already advanced when they started migrating. So they brought with them not wealth, but the wealth of culture, civilization, language, and lots of the other talent and skill. So their contribution, after they came over here, they settled. Yes, today they are Indians, but the contribution of the astroloid tribe cannot be forgotten. It was quite immense. This is just to show you a pic of how these are the pics taken by the British people, because Britishers, they ruled over us for more than 200 years. Same way, India was not their only colony. It had stretched up till Java, Sumatra, yes, beyond Malaysia. So these are the areas where the Britishers were there, and they have taken photographs of the people living during those times, rarely found in the jungles, etc. So we can see that this is how the astroloid people looked like. Yes, we can see they have that same features. For example, these two, they have the same physical features of the Negrito people. Curly hair, short hair sticking to the scalp, whereas we can see a difference over here, right? But still, yes, we have a flat face, not so much protruding out. If you see over here, it is not protruding from the forehead to the lips. It is inside, it is not outside, right? So they have a flat nose compared to, if we see a photo sideways, then we can see the nose that is protruding outside. It's ahead of the line that forms between the forehead and the lips, right? So we have a protruding nose, whereas we can see over here, the forehead is over here, nose is over here, mouth is over here, right? The nose is inside that line. So these are the physical features, just for you, for the sake of understanding, gathering more knowledge. These pictures are given, otherwise they are not given in the textbook. This is for some extra knowledge. With this, we come to an end of today's lecture. Thank you, students.